your health. I am Tahiti Marie. I am 82 years old. I have tips for you to have a healthy, long life. One, think positive. See the glass is half full. Two, drink plenty of water. Three, laugh and smile.
zAmya Theater Project presents Homeless Network Newz, starring Caroline Mannheimer, Corey Walton, Greg Traumazak, Marvin Howard, Annette Bryant, Robert Blood, Sol Sepulveda, Tahiti Robinson. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 3 of zAmya's Homeless Network Newz. Now, I'm your host, Corey Walton, coming to you live from zAmya's headquarters in beautiful downtown Minneapolis. Now, the title of this week's episode is To Our Health. And as you can probably guess, the theme is our health. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, our all-around health. Now, first off, a shout out and warm thank you to our sponsors for this week's show, the Campaign Against Racism. Now, Campaign Against Racism, what is that? Well, Campaign Against Racism is a campaign that works to dismantle the structural racism and its global effects on health by supporting local actions, efforts, and networks which aim to improve the health and lives of those most affected by racism. And why? Simple. Because racism kills. So Campaign Against Racism is organized to uncover the historical connections between racism and capitalism to radically imagine a future in which socio-cultural, political, and economic systems work towards health equity rather than against it. And the Twin Cities chapter of the Campaign Against Racism focuses on the intersections between incarceration, housing security, and health inequities. Now, to learn more about Campaign Against Racism, please go to zAmya's Facebook page and click on the equalhealth.org's Campaign Against Racism's post. In the meantime, let's get this party started right. And to kick it off, we like to throw a little sunlight on one of the biggest happenings of the Minnesota year, something that's very near to and dear to zAmya's heart. Because today is November 18th. That's right. November 18th is Give to the Max Day in Minnesota, y'all. So, Corey, what is this Give to the Max Day you speak of? Well, Give to the Max Day is Minnesota's annual day of giving where people can show their love by donating to nonprofits that make Minnesota a great place to live, like zAmya. So, Corey, what does zAmya do and why should I give to zAmya on Give to the Max Day? Well, simply put, here at zAmya, we use theater to inspire and educate people on the complexities of homelessness because we feel more education and more inspiration are two critical ingredients in order for systems to change. So we put those most affected by homelessness front and center and provide them support and a platform to tell their stories in their own words. Now, when you give, zAmya's board of directors has generously offered to match your gift dollar for dollar up to $2,000. So effectively, whatever you donate today will be doubled by the zAmya board to help us reach our goal of $4,000 today. And let me sweeten the pot just a wee bit more. We're also giving away 2 zAmya prize packs during HNN tonight. So everyone who donates during the show will automatically be entered in a drawing to win a zAmya hoodie and a water bottle. Now, how about that for lighting a fire? But seriously, everyone, any amount you can give is meaningful and appreciated. And there are some options. You can make a one-time donation, or you can hang with us in our mission for a while by becoming a monthly donor. And trust me, you'll be glad you did. Look, everyone deserves a home. So join us in our effort to see to it that everyone gets one. I mean, you're probably watching this from home or someplace warm and safe. Pretty basic, right? That's all we're striving for. Give to the max day, y'all. Now, to donate, just go to givemn.org, or you can also donate to zAmya directly by going to zamyatheater.org and click on the donate button, top right-hand corner of the homepage. And once again, any size donation makes a difference and is appreciated. Okay, onward and upward with our To Our Elf episode of HNN. Now, earlier I spoke a little bit about our sponsors, Campaign Against Racism. So now let's use the first segment of our episode to take a deeper dive on Campaign Against Racism, who just happens to be working on a project with zAmya entitled Locked In, as in, are we locked into an unjust system, or can we find the keys to change it? So let's start off with some of our locked in statistics. Some of these might just blow your mind.
On any given night in 2018, an estimated 19,600 Minnesotans are experiencing homelessness.
Homelessness in Minnesota increased by 10% between 2015 and 2018.
81% of adults experiencing homelessness have a chronic physical health condition.
Black and Native individuals are overrepresented in Minnesota's homeless population.
We know that the number of individuals experiencing homelessness and racial disparities have increased during the pandemic.
The following video is a Theater of the Oppressed theme scenarios intended to highlight real-life examples and examine how health professionals and health systems criminalize addiction and homelessness. The video is a joint effort between zAmya troupe members and the Campaign Against Racism Twin Cities chapter.
Now, how can I help you?
Oh, I'm in so much pain. I need you to give me something for this pain.
Okay, well, you know, we're pretty busy in here, and you know, I really don't have time for this kind of stuff here. You need to just calm down. Okay, just
Can't
calm
you
down.
see that she's in pain? Can't somebody at least take her blood pressure? This is an emergency room. Take her blood pressure.
So we can, yeah, just go ahead and give her something, anything. Just give her anything, and then we'll send her out. Okay.
What are the kinds of things, what are the conditions necessary that will allow these kinds of reimagined solutions or twists to these scenarios to occur?
Incredible piece featuring Lurch, Soul, Roberto, Tahiti, Esther, Caroline, Greg, and Mara. And what a question to leave you with. What are the conditions necessary to allow these reimagined solutions to occur? Think about that question. You got an answer to that? Let me just repeat it one more time. What are the conditions necessary to allow these reimagined solutions to occur? If you got an answer to that question, just a thought, drop it in the chat box. And just a comment on some of the statistics that were shared by Roberto, Lurch, and others during this broadcast. As we all know, sometimes there's a bit of a lag between when the studies are actually conducted and when the numbers are gathered and shared. So as you can imagine, many of the current numbers that have yet to be published or shared are even more dire. And sadly, for the most part, these measures all seem to be trending in the wrong direction. And that's why zAmya and other wonderful organizations continue our efforts to raise awareness on issues that have been in the dark for far too long. All right, for our next segment, we're going to feature a familiar face, I think. I mean, you usually see him in our Fly segment, In Focus, and he will be back later on with that segment. But for now, in a special segment of In Focus by the Numbers, we're going to bring in Roberto, my blood, to shed some light on issues related to mental health and homeless. Hey, Roberto, how you doing?
There
Great.
we go.
Here you have
All
some
right.
enlightening information on the role mental health plays in the homelessness. You want to share that with everyone, Roberto?
I sure would. You know, depression, bipolar, PTSD, these are just a few of the mental health issues facing our homeless population on a daily basis. Becoming homeless can be a death sentence to some. Don't be shocked by these numbers. Of the total U.S. homeless population on any given night, 464,000, 25% are 140,000 or 25% have a serious mental health issue, and 250,000 or 45% have some type of mental health issue. That's 70% or 350,000 people. That's more than the population of St. Paul. Now here's some Minnesota stats for you. Nearly 2/3 of Minnesotans have a mental illness, according to the Wilder Foundation. The research shows that of the approximate 10,000 Minnesota homeless, 64 of both adults and youth have some mental health issue. Now here's the hardest stat of all. Suicide is the second most common cause of death among our homeless population. And this is due to lack of treatment options. So those numbers shock you? Don't be.
Thank you so much, Roberto. They do shock me indeed. Thank you for that piece, Roberto. Always a pleasure doing business with you, my brother. Definitely not the kind of trends we want to see. And that just kind of gives you a reminder that how the need for healing in our community is just so vital these days. If you have any thoughts, throw them in the chat box, please. This next segment captures perfectly how the arts can and often does provide the perfect outlet or perfect means to confront life's issues that can hinder all of us from being all that we can be. So here, being all she can be through her spoken word, one of her many talents, I might add, is my troupe mate and longtime dear friend, Caroline Mannheimer, using her talents to run it down on a personal tip. Hey, Caroline.
Hey, Corey.
Okay, Caroline, I am very, your cat is now be a good cat now. I forgot his name. What's his name?
Slayer. And for good
Slayer,
reason.
that's right.
Okay.
Behave yourself, Slayer. Okay, Caroline, I'm very excited over this piece. What you got for us?
Okay. This poem that I am about to show you is called Sink, and it is number 2 in a series of poems I wrote several years ago.
Oh, we got a little freeze going on.
Called No Hero in Heroin. Run it, flow, sink into the black. Now you don't have to think back. Just let the warm wash you down to when you felt wings wrapping you round. You remember, I know you do. It's why you put yourself in all the places you do. Luck being the only thing saving you. Always on the hunt, chasing the numb under its thumb. Open up and wait for the dumb. Unzip the vein, grip up the pain. You run, but you trip again and again and again and again like a damn hamster on a wheel. What's the deal? Albatross, palpable chaos. Like a noose around your mama's neck. Cut it loose, call it truce. They've been playing with a marked deck. Don't you see? You ain't hurting nobody. But you damn sure ain't hurting me.
Okay. The girl's got talent, right? Undeniable. But most importantly, as demonstrated through her writings, her art, and art in general, can provide that outlet for healing. And speaking of arts and healing, along with a very important partner of ours, zAmya Theater produced a stage reading of a play that touches on a very important issue related to homelessness. Here to bring you more on that project, someone who was right smack dab in the middle of it, zAmya troupe member, Marcia Barnes.
Next up, we are going to share with you a reading of our staged play, Life Heist. This performance took place at the Capri Theater in North Minneapolis. It was my first stage performance with zAmya. Boy, it was an honor to be cast. Not only was I able to share from a personal level, but I got to share a message. The stories were real, the people, and the disease, all real. Life Heist is a play about living with type 2 diabetes while homeless. In partnership with Hennepin Healthcare Research Institute and supported by a University of Minnesota program for health disparities, we created a play utilizing extensive community engaged research. The cast was composed of researchers, community members, community health workers, public artists, and service providers. Our hope is that Life Heist aids in improving the lives and health of people who are experiencing type 2 diabetes. Life Heist.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming out to Life Heist.
Okay, so I can't afford a gym membership right now, but until I can always go for long walks while the weather's nice. Drew, you like to dance.
I don't know. I think I'm a little shy.
Oh, sure you do. Come on.
Music starts. Enter a dance instructor.
I'm Tahiti, and I am here to show you a dance and dance you into the future. Help me. Come on, everybody. Let's dance.
Get up.
This tail
Get up.
over your seat. Everybody. This tail over your seat.
There's kale under your chairs. Join in. Get your kale under your chairs and join in.
Now first go turn around.
And I'm Drew. I got a can-do, positive attitude, hot coffee I can brew, got a fresh hairdo. My name is Drew.
I am Star. I have diabetes and I lost my place. This heist, this fight, this knot in my shoelace, this pain in my shoulders, this disease of my body is all complicated and magnified by a system that is too stressed and overburdened to even speak clearly, much less act. A system made up of people, good people, hardworking people, that nonetheless end up as adversaries to the community they are trying desperately to help. But this is my life.
Life Heist.
Life Heist.
Yes, an incredible zAmya project in partnership with the Hennepin Healthcare Research Institute. Now, if you want to learn more about HHRI, visit their website at www.hhrinstitute.org. All righty, folks, prepare for some royalty. That's right. Make way for the queen, y'all. Now, if you've watched us before, you know what's coming when I mention royalty. But if you don't, you're in for a treat. Now, you heard of Dear Abby or Click and Clack from Car Talk. Well, let me introduce to you our liver of life, giver of advice. Ladies and gentlemen, batten down your own hatch for the latest installment of Advice from a Queen.
Hey there, Zam fam. Greetings once again from zAmya's mailroom. Once again, I am Rebecca, a proud member of the Zamily, and I'm just glad to be here again, sorting some I don't know what that alarm is for. No, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Weird. Anyway, okay, where was I? Let's see. Oh yeah, sorting the mail, of course. Okay, junk. Maybe important. I don't know. This looks like a bill. Okay, got some junk, right? And ooh, yes, this is what I was waiting for. Another letter from the Tenderloin Opera Company in Providence, Rhode Island, seeking advice from a queen. Let's see what we got. Okay, cool. Dear Queen, due to one bad luck situation after another, I've recently found myself and my kids without a place to live. I'm trying to keep my head up and figure out how to navigate the system, but it's hard. I know you've been here before, and so I'm wondering if you have any advice for how I can manage getting to my appointments on time, including getting to the shelter and getting my kids to school while using public transportation and being in pain from an injury. I want to stay hopeful and positive for me and my kids in order to be healthy and survive this. But some days, I just don't know. Any words you can offer would be really appreciated. Thanks and bless you. Time traveling queen. Wow. All right, queen.
Once again.
Do you have any advice for this time traveling queen? You know, I do actually feel like that alarm was for something. What was it? What's that smell? Oh my God. Oh God. Okay.
Have you ever wondered why something has happened to you? Do you ever wonder why people say, you are such a sweet and good person? I don't understand why that happened. It truly has nothing to do with being positive or negative. Sometimes freak accidents happen, a mishap, a miscalculation of a movement, or something as simple as a fall. Some situations have you question everything, sometimes your very existence. Do you know what it is like to be plentiful and almost instantly be without? How often have you taken something for granted until your ability to do it is very limited or noticeable? A few years ago, this very thing happened to me. I was in excruciating pain, and I secluded myself because I didn't understand what was happening. At first, I said, why? I felt alone, even with people around me. I felt devastated and sorry for myself. I had one child left at home to care for. I was in a situationship that was detrimental for me and my child. I take full responsibility because I tried saving something that wasn't worthwhile or uplifting in any way. My children were upset with me with the choice I made. Yet, I had to become the master of my life and situation before being able to fully release myself from the agony. I tell you this not for sympathy. It is to be transparent about my story. One day you're up, and by allowing certain things to continue in our lives, your circumstances have consequences. It's not about regrets. It's about lessons of uplifting and rebuilding along the way. I suffered greatly for a few years with pain and barely walking. So many appointments and surgeries, homelessness, no income, and more. And I had to take public transportation. Still, I refuse to give up. I am a lover of life, and I found a way to live my best life by pathways and refusing to have limits. I am grateful to have been taken care of along the way, and all in my corner know who they have been. At times, you have something powerful and life-changing at your fingertips, and yet don't always see it because of watching and being put off by human behaviors. It is not for you to judge or be overtaken. It's time to move forward. in your purpose and gifts that are bestowed upon you. Healing, this is very important, is happening in each pathway you're building and redefining in your life. Using your gut instincts, because when you're in full alignment, you will know. When you're out of alignment, you will be shifted and redirected. Keep going. Remember, never give up. You are enough. Your tribe is waiting. Show up for you. Are you ready to live out loud?
Wonderful, wonderful piece. Thank you so much, Queen. Ain't royalty good when it's done right, y'all? Wonderful piece featuring our own Rebecca Noon holding it down and hopefully staying alive in the mailroom, and Annette Bryant, our queen. Once again, two super women bringing it to you way live. I'm going to bring back our golden boy. Now, you saw him earlier in the special segment of In Focus by the Numbers. Now he's back with the traditional version of In Focus. That's right. You know him as our finger on the pulse of the community, advocate for unity, Roberto Blood. Hey, there he is. That's my brother. Welcome back, Roberto. Now, I hear you.
Thank you for that introduction.
You bet.
Good afternoon and welcome to HNN's In Focus. I am your host, Roberto Blood. Now, once in a while, I have the privilege to interview somebody that brings out my emotional side. Friends, this is one of those interviews. I'd like to introduce to you the founder of Studio Hearth and Q Stage, Kat Purcell. Roll that interview. Welcome, Kat. How are you today?
I'm okay.
How did you get started connecting art and the homeless?
As we saw during the uprising of 2020, the situation on the streets got even more dangerous and precarious than usual for a lot of folks who are living in the street and in tents and in camps. So along with lots and lots of my neighbors, I volunteered for shifts helping out with food, supplies. One of the things that was requested by the residents of one of the camps was to have arts and crafts. So I just started showing up with art supplies, and I started soliciting for donations of art supplies, and it became a regular Thursday and Friday. Every Thursday and Friday, there was like a special tent at the Powderhorn East camp. And then when that camp dispersed or like started to thin out, and then there were more camps kind of popping up all over the summer, I started to travel with the supplies as well, and either providing like structured activities if they were requested, or just like helping to get art supplies, donated art supplies.
So I understand that you're the founder of it looks like Studio Hearth. Give us a little background on what you offer to people that come into those spaces.
So it's at Pinwheel Arts and Movement Studio in Seward. It's on 25th, right across the street from Matthews Park. It's an art studio that already comes with sort of a warm space, right? Like a warm place in the cold weather. And we have hot beverages, we have good company, we have art facilitators who are, some of them are formerly homeless and some are not. And we have art supplies, and we also will take requests for art supplies if somebody comes in and says that they want to practice like a particular craft or medium. And then lastly, I would say that, you know, we always have like a handful of necessaries like hygiene and like warm socks, and we can provide storage for art supplies or like artworks in progress too. I think that the impact is just it's in some ways like representation, to have someone to provide support who, like, whether that's just like somebody to hang out with or like being connected to services, who is transgender, who is queer, I think can be helpful. I think particularly for LGBTQ youth, we don't see a lot of LGBTQ youth in the streets. in the urban environments, and the reason is most of them are hiding or closeted for safety reasons. But we have an incredibly high population, or like if you are a youth and you are queer or trans, then you are very likely to be incredibly low income, displaced, experiencing a number of traumatizing experiences, and like a lot of runaways are queer and trans. So.
Now, has working with the homeless and the LGBTQ plus community affected you in a positive way? And what positivity do you bring away from doing the work you do?
Honestly, it's really hard. It's really hard to see what folks are going through. I think the positivity that I've been able to come away with is that when concerned about or like trying to be a part of tackling something as big as homelessness, one can often feel like you're like spinning your wheels and you're like not really doing anything because it's such a complex and entrenched issue. And so every kind of like feeling of like making a tangible contribution like feels like a small step forward, and that can be like a really helpful motivator for me. And I think like for the like relationships and connections that I've made have been really positive. It's an amazing like reminder of like the vastness of human experience.
I just so much appreciate you coming here and sharing the little bit of time you had with us. And you're always welcome at zAmya. Our doors are always open. Anybody that you want to refer to us to come in for a safe space, you're more than welcome to send them. Thank you for being so emotionally invested in your work. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Roberto, our golden boy. And special thanks to Kat Purcell and the Pinwheel Arts and Movement Studio for their unique approach and contribution to raising awareness and helping those who are experiencing homelessness. We talk about health and healing, y'all, through the arts. If you have any thoughts about Roberto's interview with Kat or about Pinwheel or anything else for that matter, please share those with us in our chat box. That's what it's there for, everyone. So now, all of y'all know I overuse the word groovy, right? I mean, groovy this, groovy that. I admit it. But this time I really mean it. This next piece features my longtime troupe mate and longtime friend, Gregory Traumazak, aka T-Zak, in a special interview with a friend sharing his experiences of how his pets played a pivotal role in not only his healing process, but in also his successful efforts to stay off of the streets. Roll that flow.
I was homeless for 16 years, and I was out there, for a while. I struggled. I went through a lot of ordeals, and a few years back, I was offered to take care of a person who had cancer. So I went to live with him for 2.5 years to take care of him. After 2.5 years that he was alive, I got Eddie at the animal rescue shelter. Mm-hmm. And Eddie was the only dog there, So I got him for the person I was taking care of, because when I had to go run errands and I had to leave him alone, I wanted him to have a companionship. So he really got along with Eddie, but Eddie really didn't pay attention to him. So Eddie started hanging out with me. So Lewis came out of the woodwork. Someone offered me him, and so I had him. And when I got Louis was a bad little guy, So So we
Looks good now.
Oh yeah. Oh, you don't know. Yes, you don't know him yet. So anyway, Louis and Eddie.
Get all of you there.
We lived with the person for about 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
We had to move out, so me and Eddie and Louis was homeless out here for a while. For about a year, a little over a year. We slept in the wintertime outside.
Oh.
I was with them 24/7. I squatted an apartment in a vacant apartment building, and I lived with the dogs in there a little bit through the winter. One of the people from the St. Stephen's Outreach asked me, they wanted to give me an apartment because I had my dog. But if I didn't have Eddie and Louie, I'd probably still be homeless. I'm not homeless because they get me on my feet. I've had to get into physical confrontations with people about my dog. I got them taken away from me one time, and I did everything in my power to get them back, and I got them back. I consider these guys dogs. I consider them little humans. The little guy tells me what to do, tells me when to go to bed, and he greets me in the morning. That really, really touches me. He greets me in the morning, every morning. Eddie as well, you know, they sleep with me, and I talk to them like humans. I take them for walks. Eddie walks Louie. I show you. Let me show you. This is Eddie walking Louie. They've done wonders for me. Sometimes I worry about them when they're not feeling well or something, you know, because of my situation, you know. And
Oh, sure, yeah.
I just don't like being like this. I want to change it.
Eddie and Louie. Oh, I love that. That just has a ring to it. Eddie and Louie. Once again, thank you, T-Zach. And thank you, Nelson. Absolutely wonderful piece recognizing the role pets can play in the health and healing process. That piece was especially prepared with all of our animal lovers in mind. And there are plenty of them. And Nelson's story is a great example of why. And speaking of animal lovers, I know we got at least a couple near our chat box. So let us know what you felt about Greg's interview with Nelson or about your pet. Throw that in the chat box. Now, as most of you know, zAmya was founded on the concept of using performance art as a means to raise awareness about homelessness in our community and in our world. So moving our show right along, everyone. By now, I'll assume you're familiar with the zAmya agreements. That's the code by which we conduct ourselves and how we treat each other in the world. But what you are not familiar with is this brand, I see her face and I'm smiling already, is this brand new, unique way we're going to deliver the agreements to you this afternoon. Fasten your seatbelts, everyone, because you're about to be crooned by none other than the beautiful, talented, one-of-a-kind flower on this earth, my friend and troop mate, Tahiti Robinson, y'all, with this week's edition of the zAmya Agreements. Give it to him, Tahiti.
Notice our impact on ourselves and each other and our community with a smile. Treat everyone equally with a smile. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude with a smile. And most of all, have fun with a smile.
Oh, Tahiti. Okay, I'll admit, everyone, I was supposed to turn my camera off during that. But once Tahiti got started, I just wanted to stick around. Tahiti, you don't mind, do you? Okay, good. I just got 3 words for that, y'all. Stupendous. I'm through. I'm just through. Because if that don't get your zAmya juices flowing, nothing will. And thank you so much, Tahiti, for blessing us in a way that only you can. Love me some Tahiti Robinson, y'all. Now, do you have a particular zAmya agreement that's your favorite? Or did one of those agreements strike a chord with you? Drop it in the chat box. Let us know which one. Because here at HNN, that's right where those comments belong. But while you do that, in the meantime, that is a wonderful way. Tahiti's crooned zAmya agreements is a wonderful way to end our episode. Yes, I know. We've reached that time again. Unfortunately, we reached the end of this episode of HNN. Thank you, Zam family. Thank you, our viewers.
Thanks
Zam,
for joining us.
Special thanks to Lurch, Rebecca, aka Bex News, Madeline, Ben, Marcia, Marin, aka Junior. And thank you again to Kat Purcell and Penwell and Nelson and the Pups for stopping by. Thanks to Kate, Danita, and Allie for sharing their wonderful stories. And a special shout out to the Tenderloin Opera Company and LAPD, Los Angeles Poverty Department, our open mic partners. And when you get a chance, head over to our Facebook page and hit like, and also stop by our website at zamyatheater.org for all the Zam latest, and sign up for our quarterly newsletter while you're there. Finally, join us weekly for our Zam Jam virtual workshops every Tuesday, 2:30 to 4, and you can access those on our Facebook page. In the meantime, we'll see all of you on the next episode of Homeless News Network.
Thank you, Corey.